You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome to Orlando, and the Cheez-It Bowl is part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Two of the most passionate fan bases in college football have filled up the Magic City as they are set for Florida State and Oklahoma here at Camping World Stadium. Boy, hard to picture a better scene than this. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky, and Chris Budden will join us in just a moment. These are two of the blue bloods of this sport. They both certainly have eyes on, in the not-too-distant future, playing in those games on Saturday.
Sure.
But this could be a stepping stone, and Florida State really feels as if they took a step this year.
They feel closer to that as well. You know, Florida State under Mike Norvell has the chance tonight to win 10 games this season. Chance to win 6 games in a row and really catapult themselves into next year, into that college football playoff ranking. And for Oklahoma, under Brent Venables, chance to get to 7 wins. Maybe not the year that they wanted, so to speak, but it's also the reestablishment of the culture that he wants at Oklahoma, and it's a springboard for them to lay the foundation for what that program is going to be underneath him in the future.
But here in the background, Boomer Sooner, not long ago, taking the field here in Orlando. Their 24th consecutive year that they appear in a bowl game, the second longest active streak, and of course with Brent Venables taking over, hope for continued success. And they got off to a great start, 3-0 to begin the season, reaching as high as number 6 in the AP poll. Then a 3-game losing streak, a quarterback injury certainly had a lot to do with that. Finishing at 500, the fewest wins since 1998. But Brent Venables still believes this group is buying into the culture he wants to build.
Yeah, and their offense is as fun to watch as anybody's in college football. They're led by Dylan Gabriel, a transfer quarterback, comes over from UCF. He's the Big 12 Conference Player of the Year. But they really are a run-first football team, and their tailback senior Eric Gray's not going to play tonight. But they have a true freshman in Javonte Barnes, 6-foot, 200-pounder from Las Vegas that has superstar potential. They're going to give him every opportunity tonight to kind of put that talent on display. This is an offense that led the Big 12 in rushing at 216 yards per game. They think he's the guy for the future.
And for the Noles, on the road from Tallahassee down to Orlando, plenty of Noles fans made the drive. It's going to sound like Doak South at times tonight, seeking their first 10-win season since 2016. And they had to suffer through at least some growing pains when Mike Norvell first showed up in Tallahassee. 8-13 in his first 2 years. But this year, 4-0 to start the season. A 3-game losing streak, but all 3 against ranked opponents. And then closed the year on a 5-game rip where they scored 38 or more in each of those 5 wins. The 9 wins, the most since 2016, and there's now belief in Tallahassee with this coach and with this program.
And I'd say that they have a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback for next year. Jordan Travis has really emerged as their guy. This is one of the more balanced offenses in college football. And again, talking about how Oklahoma wants to run the football, so does Florida State. And Florida State really has a 3-headed monster led by Trey Benson, who's a big physical tailback. This offense has run for over 200 yards in 7 straight games, but their quarterback is the guy that leads the way.
And Chris Budden, this Florida State team and this coach believe winning 10 is a big deal.
They are, and in college football nowadays, it's rare to see a bowl team with 0 opt-outs, but that's what Florida State has. Even guys that are potential first and second rounders in next April's NFL draft. Jamie Robinson, safety, told me, I am a college football player. I love this game. I would never turn down an opportunity to be able to play with my guys one more time and perhaps be able to put more on a resume for those scouts in April. He also told me, I've never been to a bowl game. So it's like the Super Bowl for me. And he is going to play one more night with his guys.
Yeah, to Chris's point, Dan, when an Eric Gray sits out for Oklahoma, it opens the door for a guy like a Javonte Barnes to establish himself as maybe the tailback going into next season. But on the flip side for Florida State, it certainly says something that they have players that could be playing on Sundays that are also playing tonight.
I think the point for Mike Norvell and his program is their players care about who they play with. Maybe not just we're playing for Florida State, but I'm playing with the guys next to me, the guys that went through that start that you talked about in the struggle, and the opportunity to change something on the wall at Florida State. So many teams win 10 football games in a season. To have the opportunity to be a part of that means a lot to this Florida State football team.
Well, these programs met in the BCS title game back in the year 2000. Oklahoma's defense picking off the Heisman Trophy winner, Chris Wenke, twice in that game. And Quentin Griffin with a fourth quarter touchdown run that sealed the game. Josh Heupel and Bob Stoops able to celebrate as the Noles took home the hardware and held the Big Crystal football up as national champions. Oklahoma won the toss and deferred, so Florida State will begin with the football. We'll see an offense led by Jordan Travis that again scored 38 or more in each of their 5 straight wins to end the season. And Trey Benson deep in the end zone takes a knee. So Dan Jordan Travis,